Hi, Summer. So I just wanted to show you real quick how I do a little bit of my streaming, and I have this amazing volunteer, Jeremy, over here, who does boxing and all kinds of stuff. So we're kind of talking a little bit about collaborating too. But I just wanted to kind of show you what we're doing, and I hope you like it. That's what to do. It's really wet in here. Okay, so you just want to sit. I'm so sorry about the wet.
It's okay. No problem.
Try to clean. All right. So I always start each class with a breath of fire. It's an upregulating breath, and it turns on your nervous system and gets your body ready for practice. It also helps clear out your nasal passages because we're breathing in and out through our nose the whole time, keeping our mouth closed. So trying to extend our breath. So kind of pranayama. Everybody thinks of pranayama as breath retention, but it's more breath extension. So we're always trying to extend the breath, and we're trying to extend the exhales longer than the inhales. So are you familiar with the breath of fire?
I haven't heard it referred to it that way, but I've done a lot of breathing.
Okay.
So maybe we'll be familiar with
it. Right. Once I show you, yeah, I'll probably go, oh yeah, okay, maybe. So the breath of fire comes from your Uddiyana Bandha, so it's between your belly button and your there. And so you're pressing out with your stomach muscles, and your inhalation just comes automatic. And so I'll show you with my mouth open, but we'll do it with our mouth closed just so you can get the sense of it. And so we're just pressing out through our stomach. So we do it with our mouth closed. And so we do 3 rounds of 20. And so I'll have you inhale, big belly breath. So can you take a deep breath for me? And so when we take a deep breath, our shoulders shouldn't move and our chest really shouldn't move, unless we're like running from a lion. So those are our fight or flight muscles. And so we don't want to incorporate those muscles. We shouldn't be using those muscles just to breathe, because then those muscles get exhausted and we get shallow breathing, and then it's downhill from there. So most people that have suffer from anxiety or asthma or stuff like that, it's a CO2 intolerance. So meaning they cannot hold their breath for more than 5 seconds. They're mouth breathing or stuff like that. So we always want to try to breathe through our nose. There's 72 reasons why we should breathe through our nose, not our mouth, but we don't have time for all that. And so we'll inhale big belly breath. So when you inhale, your belly should go, and then when you exhale it. And so notice how my chest and shoulders did not move at all. So it's inhale and exhale. And then we incorporate our diaphragm, which is what we should be breathing with more. So we're getting that big diaphragm, and then we're working that. It's super important for breath. And so we'll inhale big belly breath, and then we'll exhale and sink down and close the ribs, like that V right here. Just kind of close it down. It allows the diaphragm to kind of relax for a second, and then we'll inhale, and then I'll have you exhale, exhale, exhale. And we'll do 3 rounds of 20. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, exhale. And so with your eyes closed, just kind of starting to root down into your mat, leaving the day outside. It cannot come in here. This is your time. And then take a deep belly breath. And then exhale, sink down and close the V. And then inhale deeply. And exhale, 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 exhale. Sharp exhalation through the nose. Exhale, exhale, exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale, inhale, and exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale. Take your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Just kind of notice where your breath is coming from. Take a second every day just to check in with your body. A lot of us stay in fight or flight mode. Learn how to control your nervous system. And I want you to imagine your breath coming out through the center of your heart, through your chest, Just picturing your breath coming out through the center of your heart. Now, I want you to imagine a time that you were really, really proud of something that you've done. Maybe a trip that you went on with a bunch of fun people and you laughed so hard that you snorted. Just feeling the love and appreciation that you have for the people around you. Try to recreate that right now in your mind and in your body. Setting an intention for your practice to be the best version of yourself every day and never letting anybody ruin that day for you. May this yoga practice heal and strengthen your body and your mind. May this yoga practice heal and strengthen your body and your mind. So open your eyes and come to your downward facing dog. And so we always try to use bridges and domes. So we're trying to squeeze an invisible ball underneath our mat. So we're building strength in our hands and not dumping into our wrists. And then pull your chest through, trying to look at your knees or your belly button. And pull your shoulder blades down and back as you press forward. Mm-hmm. So make it really active for a second, like you're trying to rip your mat in two separate directions. Really, really ripping. And then find a point where you can just stack and just relax in your down dog. Those words don't really go well together, but you know what I mean. And then inhale deeply through your nose. Open up your mouth inside out. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open up your mouth inside out. Trying to keep that same breath through practice, but making exhalations longer than your inhalations. And then step to the top of your mat, grab opposite elbows, and just forward fold. Just kind of sway side to side. Giving your body a second. And then inhale all the way up, palms pressed together. And so really reach up and then pull your shoulder blades down and back. Press your heels into the mat and really squeeze and engage your quads, engage your core, strong mountain. Hands to prayer center. So setting an intention for your practice today. And then inhale, palms back together. And then just take a little bit of a back bend. Breathe. Pressing your hips forward, engaging your core. And go back just a little further. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Pull back into your shoulder blades. And then exhale, step back to your plank position. And so in your plank, you want to make it longer than you think. And then you want to turn your eye elbows forward and then come about 3 more inches forward, bending your elbows back into a half push-up. Good. Inhale, upward facing, pull your chest through, breathe. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Take your right leg up behind you, keeping your hips square to the mat. Yes. And then bend your knee, really squeezing your heel to your butt. Try to stack your hips, looking underneath your right armpit. Each inhale and exhale, try to let go a little bit more in your hip flexors. And then bend both knees, step that right foot behind you, be very careful because the floor is wet. And then coming up, your 3-legged tabletop, breathe, good job. Really opening up in those hips, good form, fantastic. And then come over onto your right side for right side plank. And then lift your top leg up and just step it in front of you. Perfect. Careful, sorry. And then press into that heel. Taking your gaze up towards your left hand. And then try to lift your right leg up. Even if you don't get it off the mat, just engage those muscles, always challenging yourself. And breathe. And then come back to your downward facing dog. Good job. And the left leg goes up. Just walk your hands back just about a few inches and really press that right heel down. And then bend your knees and stack your hips, looking under your left armpit. And then bend both knees, stepping that foot behind you very carefully, coming up into your three-legged tabletop. Coming back up and around, coming onto your left side for left side plank.
It's on the right side first.
Oh,
Let's see.
Yeah. And then take that top leg up and step it in front of you. And then press into that right heel or whatever, left heel, whatever leg you're on. And then see if you can raise that bottom leg and breathe. Good job. Coming back to your downward facing dog. Good job. Then you want to hips.
Yes, I did.
Take your heels together, bend your knees out wide, step or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. Then as you exhale, reach over to the right side and just kind of pull back in that left shoulder. Try to keep your hands together, arms by your ears, and breathe. Then inhale back to center. Exhale, reaching over to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Pull your chest through and inhale, really get a deep inhale. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take your heels together, bend your knees out wide, step or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees deeply, touch the floor, and reach up. And then sink down and back. And so give yourself a little micro tuck in your pelvis, so that way you're dumping more into your legs and not your low back. So you're taking it more in your quads, glutes. And then look down, can you see your toes? If you could see your toes, sink back further. Take yourself somewhere else. You can hold this, breathe, sink lower. Exhale, forward fold. Good time. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands. And then anchor your back foot at a 45, coming up into your warrior one. And so in your warrior one, really press that right hip back. Trying to get both hips forward, both shoulders forward. Now twist to the right. Woo! This one is no way no. And then inhaling back to your warrior one. Interlace your hands behind you, humble warrior. And coming back up to warrior one, go ahead and take that back heel up onto your tiptoes for a crescent lunge. And then you're going to hover that back knee and straighten, hover, and straighten, hover, and coming up into your warrior three. Take your right hand down to the mat and then just trying to stack your hips. So try to get your hips stacked before you take your gaze up towards your left hand. The more you flex in that leg, the more strong you'll be. And then step back to your crescent lunge. Good job. I always tell everybody, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And so right hand comes on the inside of your, left hand comes on the inside of your right foot, and then twist, looking up over your right hand. And then right hand comes on the inside of your right foot, pressing that knee away. Gaze comes up towards your left hand. You're not loving me right now, are you? And then go ahead and drop that back knee, turning your toes a little bit out to the corner, and then come on to the side of your foot and lower down. Really opening up in the psoas, pelvis, and just breathe. So see how long you can extend your breath. So if you can inhale for 1, 2, 3, and then exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me a couple more of those. And this also distracts your brain and takes it somewhere else, gives it something else to do. Just check in, make sure you're not clenching in your hip flexors, and you're letting it go. We're always clenching, we don't even realize it. And then slowly come back up, good job. And take your hand onto the meaty part of your knee and coming onto the top of your foot and just barely, just ever so slightly come up just a little bit. If it's too much, don't do it, breathe. And then lower down, taking your hand down to the back of your leg for your half camel. So we're only halfway reversing our seating. No, I'm kidding. And so breathe and you press those hips forward. And then right hand comes up and around, trying to grab that foot if you can. Getting the most awkward sensation ever. Breathe. Slowly release. Taking your hands down by your side, engage your core and switch. Good job. And then taking your back foot parallel, so it's at a 45, pressing that heel down, toes are forward, and hips are forward, coming into your warrior 1. So again, trying to pull those hips forward and twisting, and then twist to your left. And coming back to center, humble warrior. And coming back up, popping that back heel back up for a crescent lunge. And then hover that back leg and straighten, hover, and straighten, hover. Coming up into your warrior 3. Good. Taking that left hand down to the mat. Again, taking a second to stack those hips first. Really flexing in that heel. And then slowly, very, very slowly, our drishti is very important. Our gaze in yoga, breathe. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Or actually, just step back into your crescent lunge, sorry. And then right hand goes on the inside of your left foot and twist. And then left hand goes on the inside of your left foot and twist, using that arm to press the knee back. And then coming back down, turning your toes out to the side and come down onto the side of your foot. So you can keep that back leg up if you want more of a stretch, or you can lower it down. Wherever you can kind of relax, because our body does not feel safe, our nervous system, it will not open up. So if we're clenching too much into a pose, or if we're thinking about our jerk of a boss or whatever, our body's just going to be like, I'm not doing nothing. You're wasting your time. So trying to breathe through your 3-6 count. Eventually you'll move to your 4-8 count. I love this one. I know a lot of people don't, but I love this one. I'm glad you do, because most people are like cussing me in that one. And then slowly come up onto the top of your foot just a little. Don't rush it. Our feet are super important. We always forget about them. That's our foundation. And then reaching forward for your half camel. Coming back forward, reaching back with that left hand, grabbing the top of your foot. And this is actually super important for your knees to be on hard surfaces. It helps build calluses to protect the knees longer. Even though everybody's like, and then slowly release, and then step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Let out a big lion's breath. I always make my students go. We gotta have fun in life. Life is too short. So inhale, rise all the way up, palms pressed together. Hands to purse center. Bend your knees deeply, touch the floor, reach up. And then hands to purse center. So again, just getting a little tuck in that tailbone, leaning back. Left elbow comes on the outside of your right knee and twist. And so really try to make sure those knees stay together. And I love this. It's a good explanation of push-pull in yoga. So I'm trying to pull my pelvis out towards my left, and then I'm trying to push and twist to my right. So it's like a push-pull. Pelvis is twisting to the left, and I'm twisting to the right. Breathe. Step that left foot back behind you, trying to anchor it down at a 45, and then give you one more twist. Step to the top of your mat, coming back into your chair, and hold. Sink a little lower. Hands to purse center. Right elbow comes on the outside of your left knee. Again, keeping those knees aligned, and then pulling your pelvis out towards your right, twisting to the left. Stepping that back foot back behind you and twist. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Take your feet about hip width distance and you grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, look up, pull up. And then as you exhale, start to lean your body forward, trying to keep your chest on your knees. So keeping a deep bend in your knee here, and then just leaning your body weight forward. So finding that push-pull. Feels like you're gonna fall forward. And then we're pulling back with our arms. Make sure you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings. Pulling your shoulder blades down and back. Turning your head yes and no. Maybe a and then slowly release your toes, taking your hands up to your waist and slowly coming up. That one never gets easier. Taking your left foot back behind you, just keeping both feet kind of forward. Yeah. And then make sure your hips stay forward. And so grabbing either opposite elbows, opposite hands, or reverse prayer. So just wherever you are in your shoulder journey. Very good. And then you're acting like you're pulling your mat apart in two separate directions. Externally rotating your front leg. So we're firing up those deep six muscles. And then internally rotating your back leg and then trying to rip your mat in half. And so hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Your gaze is about 3 inches in front of your toes.
Where is my neck in this pose?
Your gaze is right about 3 inches in front of your toes.
Okay, so it's good.
And then you're trying to lead forward with your heart towards your ankle. Yeah. And you're trying to keep your hips squared. Woo! Yeah. Just a little bit. Good. And then release your left hand, take it on the outside of your right foot or your shin, wherever you can reach, and then twist looking up at your right hand. Or you can keep that hand on your low back to make sure that your low back stays straight, and I could put a bear on it and it wouldn't fall off. See if you can straighten that back leg. Good, 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 good. Breathe. Perfect. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Perfect. Job. Now take your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance this time. Bend your knees deeply. Take your hands as far underneath as you can. If you can massage those wrists, awesome. And then inhale, look up, pull up. And then as you exhale again, we're leaning that body weight forward, and you can straighten your legs here, pull your chest as far away as you need to. And just again, trying to lean that body weight forward. Maybe your heels come up a little bit off your mat. The advancement of this would be to tiptoe into your wrist. Without smashing your face on the floor, yes. So really finding that push-pull, like that, see?
That's almost right.
Yeah, it's like one of those ones you better know that you have it, because you are standing on your hands. You have nothing to stop you. So breathe. And then take a deep bend in the knee. Hey, I'd rather fall and be trying than, and slowly coming up. Good job. I always tell people, if you haven't knocked over at least 3 yogis in your life, you're not yogi. You're not trying hard enough. And now step your right foot back behind you again, making sure those hips stay forward. And so externally rotating that front leg. So I'm externally rotating it and internally rotating my back leg, trying to rip my mat in half. And then hips are forward, and so whatever, thing you took, yeah. And so, but make sure you keep those shoulder blades pulled back, and we're lengthening with our spine. So this is actually extending in the spine, and so it's like somebody's pulling on our head, and we're trying to take our heart here, and our gaze is here. So we're not really cranking on the neck. We're just kind of leaning forward at the hips. We really got to use those leg muscles to keep our hips from swaying side to side. We want them straight. And then kind of squeeze your legs apart, really engage them, really squeeze. And then as you exhale, your body will let you go a little lower, kind of tricking our nervous system. And then slowly come halfway up, taking your right hand wherever you can reach, and then take your hand on your low back to make sure it stays straight, and then twist up over your left shoulder. Really engaging the legs. Don't fall over. And step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Good job. It's getting a little sweaty in here. Oh my gosh, turn the feet. Okay.
No, I know. Even in the cold.
I know. I'm the same way. I'm in air conditioning and I'm drenched. Everybody's like barely got me. I'm like, I was like drowning rat. Yeah.
Here. It's all here. Yeah. There's a lot of water.
Yeah, this big hair is still perfect. I'm making. I'm like, yeah, that's not pretty. And so taking your right leg up. And so engaging all your bandha locks, your Mulyana Bandha, your Uddiyana Bandha. So are you familiar with those?
No.
Okay. A lot of yoga is structured.
I assume I have them.
So yes.
Okay.
So take your thumbs on your belly button and then just kind of do this. You can go ahead and put your leg down. And so that muscle right there above your pubic bone, so engage that. Okay. Okay, now act like, I'm sorry for the denology, but you've got a straw in your booty hole and you're trying to suck a chocolate shake through it. And so you're trying to really lift all that up, but you're not engaging your butt, so you're really engaging all that pelvic floor stuff, and you're trying to lift that up, and then we're trying to squeeze down and hug our midline, so that's our core. So if you have all that engaged, I shouldn't be able to push you over, but if you just have your belly button tucked to your spine, like that's how they tell people to do their core, I'm going to be able to knock you over. So that's what we're trying to do. It's almost like an elevator, and we're lifting it all the way up. And so now, with that being said, engage all of that.
I can't even imagine really what that feels like right this very second, but I want to know.
Okay, so imagine, so down here,
yeah,
you're scooping water.
Okay.
And so now you're scooping that water, and you're trying to lift that water all the way up, and you keep wanting to lift it as high as you can, so you're really holding it, And then same thing as you exhale, that water is lowering, 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 and releasing completely. And so work on that because those are the locks that we hold in our yoga practice that helps us stay more stable. And there's a lot of other reasons why we hold those, but but those are the bandha locks that we're always talking about, your Uddiyana Bandha and your Uddiyana Bandha. So, and I'm not really a Sanskrit person, but that's, I don't know what else it's called in English. But so now engaging all of that, and then squeeze your legs together, engage your quads, and then now come up with your right foot. So you should feel way more stable. And then taking that left leg out to the side, taking your gaze over your left shoulder. Of course, anytime we take our gaze away in life or in yoga, it's a little bit more difficult when we're distracted. Back to center. I'm like a squirrel at a rave, so I know. And then straighten that front leg and hold. Don't lean back. Breathe. Press into the heel. Lift higher. 2 and 1. Good. Good job. And then left leg comes up. Make sure you've got your elevator coming up, your chocolate shake. Then take that left leg out to the side, and then slowly take your gaze over your right shoulder. See if you can take a gander at your booty. And then slowly coming back to center. And just up over your head, and then straighten out your leg and hold for 3. Lift higher, 2. And 1. Your 2 is really long. And then take your right foot, since we're going to work on hips a little bit more, so take your right foot in like a number 4 over the meaty part of your knee, and then hands to prayer center, and then slowly start to sit down. And then see if you can take your arms in front of your shins, and then use your foot as like a little hook on your arm. And then see if you can maybe take your hands down to the floor, but make sure you still have your arms pressed into your shin. And you start to lean forward and breathe. Maybe you can fly your pigeon. And slowly, slowly coming back up the way you went in. Switching legs, the left leg comes up and over. Hands to prayer center. And then slowly sinking down. Arms in front of your shins, just kind of pressing into the shins. You take your hands down to the mat. This time you're just kind of pressing forward. Slowly coming back up. Good. And then coming down to your yogi squat. Then press your knees out to the side. Then right hand comes in front of your hand, your foot and your shin. And then twist, looking up at your left hand. Really, each inhale and exhale, try to twist a little bit more, keeping that left leg pulled back when it tries to pull in. Kind of breathing into the low back, and coming back to center. Left hand comes on the outside and twist. Breathe. Back to center, taking your hands down in front of you, and then come up onto your tiptoes. And then squeeze your knees behind your triceps, and then start to lean forward like in your half push-up. So try to get your knees behind your triceps. So this is frog, and so we're trying to get the knees behind the triceps, right into the triceps, yeah. And then start to lean forward. It might be hard since you have the shorts. And then maybe you'll take one foot up and maybe the other. Good. Yes. Yes. Very good. Breathe. Hold. 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 You got this. And release. Good job. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So
right big into the triceps like that. I kind of, I've usually shelved more so that they splay out a little bit more.
So that's more frog.
Yeah.
So that's what you'll see a lot of athletes do is frog. And so when my athletes come in, that's the first thing they go into. And I'm like, no, because it's so much easier.
Okay.
So we're trying to engage all of our core.
Okay.
And so we're trying to get them behind the triceps because it's more core that's holding us up than this. Like if it hurts the back of your triceps, it's because you're not engaging your Uddiyana Bandha and your Uddiyana Bandha as much.
I think I'm just sweating.
Yeah, right now you're sweating.
Yeah.
So it's probably impossible because you'll just be, if you put a towel there behind you like that, you'd probably be able to. You've got two if you want to try it. Because eventually you'll have just straight arms and then you'll be.
I'm all up.
Yes.
I got them. I'm usually too hot.
Yeah. Well, that's what top zero is for.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's try it.
And so that's why I always walk people through it instead of just calling it. Because you know how we're doing those half push-up arms? So really focusing on your half push-up arms too. So your elbows go backwards instead of to the side.
Elbows go back.
Yeah, so you're kind of bending them out this way. So when we're doing our half push-up, our arms go back.
Okay.
And that's the same thing. Our arms go back. Yeah, instead of out to the side, you're kind of doing them out to the side. So you want them back. So I always tell everybody, turn your eye elbows. These are our elbow eyes forward. And then let your elbows go back. Good. Yeah, lean more forward.
Push.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're looking at it, I saw the ground running to him.
Well, no, and I feel the pressure there, but I've never put it there before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Most teachers don't take the time to break it down enough. And so everybody just assumes that's how you do it, as long as you get your legs up.
Sure.
Which is great to get the feeling of it, but.
And the balance, but to really get I see how you're tightening it.
Yeah. And we're engaging all those bandha locks that I was talking about.
That's big. I'm going to work on it.
I love that. Good. So, so go ahead and sit down. And then, so you're going to take your right foot and take your arm just as far like into your like elbow or your knee pit. And then just kind of start walking that hand back. Just breathe. You can use this arm to kind of push that elbow out a little bit too. And one more time, just walk that hand back. And then grab your foot and just kind of rock it like an ugly baby. It's like, oh, I need a pedicure. Really need a pedicure. No, I'm kidding. And so those same arms that we were just doing in crow, the elbows going back. So that's why I'm a stickler with half push-up, because we use those arms in all arm balances. So whether it be forearm stand, tripod, lizard, any of them, scissor, we use those same arms. So here you're going to take your left foot and just cross it on top of your right ankle. And so take your other arm, on beside your booty, and then just kind of lift up, and when you do, you're going to bend your elbows and lean forward and squeeze. So don't let the pose scare you.
Right. But no, and
so take
the fact that I even was getting as far as I did.
Yes, I know.
Is making me think,
We're
because I never
opening
thought
up
I could do that.
like crazy.
Okay. So let's walk.
So try to take that arm as high back as you can. Yeah, and if you had pants on, it'd be a little easy, but at least you got the shirt.
Okay.
And then you just take that left elbow on the top, and then that other arm, make sure it goes on the outside. And then you're just going to lift up, same half push-up arms, lean forward. So just lean forward and squeeze those legs together. So same thing. So see how I'm making a shelf?
Yeah. And I'll tell you where I'm feeling it. I feel it right here. Yeah. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Right here.
So your hip flexors too. Okay. So yeah, your hip flexors are flaring up on you.
Okay. Yeah, but so Do I need to get stronger there? Will this pose make me stronger?
This pose will help you with that.
Okay.
So, because it seems like you need to open it up a little bit more, but also maybe strengthen it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're having to hold those legs up. So like if you take your legs straight and then you try to lift your butt up. Okay, now try to lift your butt and your feet.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, so maybe you just need to build that just a little bit more, and then your ilium too. And then it could be too that you're not firing enough in your glutes. So there's whole different things. Like when I do private, I assess all that, like their first practice, so I know exactly what practice to do with your body. So yeah. I'm very, very anatomy, very pose, like.
Yeah.
And so I have my own academy too, and I do teacher trainings all over the world. And so if you want to take your left leg, because you always got to be balanced in yoga. And so just starting to walk that hand back. Breathe, trying to twist your chest forward. So again, we're always trying to clinch up. So you're probably kind of clinching up, and you don't even realize it, like holding it like this. So try to let go of this leg completely. Just let your arm do all the work, and your leg is just chilling like a villain while Robin is filling. Because again, if we're clenching or if our body does not feel safe, because yoga is a nervous system workout, it won't open up. And so it's just letting that leg just chill and using the muscle of your arm. So a lot of things in yoga is a yin yang. So one part is strengthening, and the other part is just relaxing. And so just taking your other hand on the outside. Woo! And then taking your right hand or your right foot over your left ankle. And so make sure you're leaning forward though. So as soon as you lift up, so your right ankle comes over that left one. And as soon as you lift up, you lean forward and then squeeze the legs to the side. Yep. And use the shelf. You're there. You're almost there. You were almost there.
Almost. We'll get there.
Did you have that same sensation on the other side?
Yeah. No, you know what? Actually, it was better on this side.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Here, this part was just going, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Not gonna happen.
This one, I felt. I felt a little bit of tightness, but here I felt the tightness and the burn.
Okay.
Here it was just more like,
just like tightness.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How did you do in the half moon with your stacking of the hips? Are you good there?
I don't know that I ever have been happy with my half moon.
Let me see your half moon. So let me get your block. Hold on one second. So if you can't completely stack, you want to try to get a block first.
Okay.
Everybody looks at a block as like a bad thing. It's really not. I don't like props a whole lot because they just get in the way. But that way you could get yourself a little bit more stacked and get the feeling, because a lot of us take too much pressure on the arm, and really the arm is just there to balance. We're not even supposed to have much pressure on that arm. And then you want to lift this leg higher, flex your foot like you're really pressing into the heel, which actually makes you stronger. You feel how that changed it? And then you just try to stack and then taking your gaze up here, and that's usually where people start to fall. So good job. See if you can bend that knee and grab your foot.
Okay. All right. Let me not tighten too much. Okay.
Your hips are probably like
water.
Your hips are like, we're tapping. And so, because when you are at a half moon, so a lot of people have to work on trying to get their hips back. And so once you really get those hips stacked, and you really want to flex in that leg and press into that heel, because really you're not even supposed to be holding onto the ground. That is just for balance, but most people dump and take all their weight into their hand.
Which I think is definitely what I've been doing. And I'll tell you, I have never thought about how important it is. But like you said, I did. I felt it as soon as I was like, no.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll say, sometimes instructors will say, like you're trying to kick the back wall or something like that, but it's not
but
like.
They've never, and it's like, no, you want to you got laser beams coming out of that.
Yeah.
And you really strengthen that, and now we're pulling in those locks and engaging all of our core, And so this is how our half moon, and then because most of it is going to be all of our core and upper body, and then we'll reach back and grab that leg for the sugar cane, and then you can take it into the inside, and then coming up into dance.
Yeah, and I've never come to dance that way. I've come to dance a couple of ways, but
never that way. Yeah. And so I love half moon because half bridge because it works a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And so go ahead and do it on the other side.
Let's try it.
You'll already notice a huge difference, just how you came up this time.
Yeah.
And because we're always pushing in. Yeah, your half moon is freaking fantastic on this side.
Yeah, well, different, a lot different.
Love it. Yeah, you look amazing. Like there's not much I would correct at all.
Okay.
So you see,
that's
huge.
Yeah, and so when I'm feeling like, how is my, does this leg need to rotate out more?
Well, it's more so like if you so like this side is not as open, so like I'm trying to really pull that hip back, and then I'm just using that leg to flex, and then you're trying to get everything stacked. So you want your shoulders, everything stacked over your arms, and then your hips stacked over your leg, and then this leg is just pushing, and you're trying to lift it up higher and higher. And then eventually, you'll just come to prayer center and hold it. Very nice. Very nice.
So
but
much
most
better.
people take all the weight into their hands.
Yeah, and
then they don't get the body work.
And this felt so much, it just felt like it was there. And that's never happened in the half, which I think is a big, yeah, thank you. Okay, that's great.
All right, so go ahead and Will or Ken, let's do Will. So go ahead and come down on take your heels into your butt, and then just see if you can reach back and grab your heels. Good, so just that way we have alignment, and then just pressing your body all the way up, trying to take your chest towards your chin, not your chin toward your chest. So really, really trying to lift higher each time. So stay in your bridge for a second. Mm-hmm. And so interlace your hands underneath you, and just really try to get that chest up high. Good job. That is great. And so allow a big belly breath here. So see how your belly is moving up and down? That's how we're supposed to breathe. Yes. Your body is going into sympathetic mode, or parasympathetic mode. So that's good. Even though we're stressing it to crap out, it's learning how to adjust to it really quick, which is what I love about you guys. And now take your hands up and over. Go ahead and lower down for a second first. Get a break. And then slowly come up again, and then take your hands and interlace them behind, not interlace the hands up and over, and then come up. Perfect. And so from here, where else could you go? Can you take your chest through your arms? My chest through my arms. So trying to come, yes, good. And maybe could you try to straighten out your legs? Careful because your mat's, so straighten them out like straight on the mat. Because your will is good, so it's like, where else can you go in your will? Good job. So go ahead and tuck your chin and lower down. That's a great will. That is a really nice will you got there. High five will. So each time, so if you've got that awesome will, now where can you take that will? So, so if you just keep doing will and you don't think about, okay, now where else can I go with that?
So straighten the legs.
Mm-hmm. So a full expression of will is your legs are completely straight and your chest is through your arms. And then after that, you'll work on standing from will.
Can I see that?
So you'll go into it like this, and then you pull your chest through, and then your legs straight.
Okay.
And so a lot of people don't have enough, so their arms are and their chest are still way back here. And so that's like a shoulder mobility problem. But you don't have that. That's why I was like, take your chest through, because you're really trying to work as much of that as you can, and then eventually you'll stand from there, which I'm not trying to do today. It's too wet. But you can also work yourself against the wall too, and try to press into the wall, and then walk up the wall and stand up too, and start working on that. So I always tell students, like, okay, where can you advance at? So if you've got that, where can we advance? Because if we're just staying stagnant, we're not growing.
Sure.
So Your will's awesome, so now let's, you know, if your will has had some problems, then I would have you stay in it longer, have you breathe in it longer, but you didn't. So it's like, let's advance it now. Good job. And so take your knees to your head, and then just start to walk your hands underneath. I love this pose, shoulder stand, like a yogi gas station, and try to get your hips up over your shoulders as much as you can. Just using those hands to keep walking them down your back. And again with a big belly breath. And then slowly hinging at the hips, taking your feet behind you, coming onto the tops of your toes if you can, up to your toenails. See if you can take where your toenails are touching the ground. You're like, nope.
A little bit of a gut here.
Just breathe. Stay for just a second. Bear with me. And take your knees to your ears for ear pressure flows. I love these. Because I hate them. And then interlace your hands behind you. One more good squeeze. And then open up your hands and use them as brakes, and then slowly lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. And then rock and roll 3 times. Woo! And a woo! And then just floppy fold over your legs. Don't try to go anywhere, just kind of floppy fold. Let gravity kind of do its thing like it did to my butt. And then slowly come up onto your knees. Take your right knee on the outside, so you're just gonna take right knee up and over, and then open up your legs, and then try to get where you can get on the tops of your feet, but both sits bones are down. Good. And then take opposite hands if you can, and then you're just gonna lead with your heart. Make sure you're still squeezing in your shoulder blades so you're not hunching over, and then just start to lean forward. So this is another place that you might notice your hips and your ilium and all that might start spasming on you. So we're trying to open that up. So try not to clench in your hip flexors. So a lot of us will clench up in our hip flexors when they're being stretched like this. So
I don't really feel them so much. I feel like I don't have my knees stacked the way I like them to. Is that why?
You can pull that top leg back a little further and try to get it onto the top, because you really want to be on the top of that foot. So maybe if you're trying to be on the top here, like more like, yeah. I just don't want to adjust you too much. Yeah, and just you'll eventually try to get those knees up and over, and then you're going to slowly release your bind, and then just kind of lean forward, all the way forward over your legs. And then left elbow on the outside of your right knee, and then twist. And so with each inhale and exhale, try to lift to lengthen your spine higher, and then twist more. Try to take your gaze over your right shoulder, pulling that right shoulder back. And then slowly coming all the way around, straighten your left leg. Right arm comes in front of your shin. And then if you can grab your toe, awesome. If not, don't worry about it. And then take your hand right down by your side, and then just lift up and lean forward. So if you can grab your toe, awesome.
So grab the toe like this or like this?
It doesn't matter. And just try to get that arm in front of your shin, because you're going to use that arm as a shelf, kind of, as you lean forward. So and try to press that foot down where it's stepping. So I'll show you this way. So see how I've got my foot step down?
Sure.
And then I'm trying to lean forward like this, and then just lift up. I'm really pressing into that heel, opening up the hips. There you go. Yes. Yes. Good job.
Sort of, yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah.
And so I want
And
more
I done the
pressing.
whole foot.
Yeah, of course. And so I want more pressing in that foot. Yeah. Good. There you go. There you go. Check you out. Very good. I like it. And so same thing. Now coming up onto your knees, left leg comes over. And so try to get those legs squeezed together as much as you can. And then sit back, trying to get onto the tops of your feet or the sides just as much as you can. Maybe take that underneath your foot so it doesn't slide, the towel. I might need to close this in a minute or we're going to be Mosquitoville. Go ahead and close that. And then just go ahead and grab a bind and go ahead and start leaning forward. Bye, pretty you. Love you. It's my ancient technology form. Good.
These things don't even want to cooperate.
And so again, so when you're holding, so try to kind of check in where you might be clenching. Sometimes we're clenching in our shoulders and our neck and our hip flexors and our ankles. So a lot of this too is just trying to check in with the body. And then slowly, slowly release your bind. Always be mindful of the shoulders and then just start leaning forward. Again, when you're here, just try to let go as much as you can. And then slowly take that right arm on the outside of your left elbow and twist up over your left shoulder. And then as you inhale, try to lift the spine and then twist more. Yummy. I feel that all on the outside of my hips. Is that where you feel it? All on the outside of your left hip? Good. And then slowly release. So now taking that left arm in front of the shin, right leg straightens. Grab whatever you need to do. And then lifting up and leaning forward.
Leaning.
Yeah, so make sure that foot is stepped down. So your left foot is stepped all the way down. Yeah, perfect. That's really where I want you to press more than anything, because that really forces that hip to open up. There you go. And then we just think we're doing a cool pose, but we're really opening the crap out of our hips. I'm tricky that way. I'm tricky that way.
I like that.
It keeps you distracted in other ways. Most people don't like opening up the hips.
Right.
And so coming onto your knees, and then interlace your hands in front of you. You're going to take just your hairline right in front of your pinkies, your head on the mat, and then make sure your elbows are directly under your shoulders. So see how your elbows are out? Perfect. And so take your head, because it's too far forward, so you want just your hairline to be, or where your hairline used to be. I didn't mean it.
I've had time to get used to it.
You're just taller than your hair. It's okay,
right.
you know? And so make sure you're squeezing your head and you're not putting, so you should be able to turn your head when you go upside down. And so really squeezing and pressing into those elbows, because we're working on our rotator muscles. So press into your elbows for me real quick and hollow out your back. So press into your elbows.
Press down.
So look at me. So press down like this. And so these are our 3 points of pressure. And so we're working on those rotator muscles. So everybody kind of forgets to press down like this. Yeah. So you really want to press and engage that core, sucking in that chocolate shape. And so, like I said, when we come up, we should not be on the top of our head right here. We should be about right here. So, and you should be able to turn your head, so all your pressure is in your 3 points and your core. And so when you're here, then you're going to start to walk your feet forward, and then try to get your hips stacked up over your shoulders as much as you can, and then take your legs and just kind of hold them here for a second. And then you'll slowly take them up, But most people have their legs too far forward, and so try not to be scared and go back. You got this. He's like, I'm already up, lady. Good, good. Good job. And so from there, then you can start to take those legs back behind you and go into scorpion. He's like, oh my God, lady. All right.
We'll build it.
So go ahead and slowly lower down to your mat for coach. And then slowly lower down for 3, for 2, and out! Let me mean it. And then slowly lower down for 3, for 2, and 1. Palms up. Body as heavy as you can make it in the mat. Like there's going to be a body mark on that mat when you get up.
There will be. You're
like, there really will be. And just if a thought comes to you, recognize it as important or not, and swipe it away. Give your mind and your body this time. Trust that.